everyone, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me on this layout. So today I'm creating a happy little mixed media crazy layout of my boys playing with slime. They worked out that they could blow bubbles with the slime if they used some straws. So I've got this cute little cut file that is actually an exclusive from the Confessions of the Paper Addict Facebook group. So if you are a member of the Facebook group, you may have downloaded this. It was a freebie, but it is no longer available and it isn't available in store. So hopefully you snaffled this up when Virginia put this out. It did have a title on it that said Our Bubble, but that wasn't what I needed for this particular layout. So I actually took the title off and I've just cut out the little bubbles themselves. And if you're interested in the mixed media, just hold on for a few more minutes because I will be completely giving you a verbal step-by-step guide as to how I did the mixed media. If you're not interested to listen to that, it goes for about 7 minutes because, you know, I do like to talk. So definitely fast forward about 7 more minutes from here, 7 or 8 minutes, and you'll be back to just the embellishing and creating aspect of this particular layout. So I've never done this before where I have used the inside cutout bits only to create my layout. So it's all a perfect fit together. And I am just gluing it all completely flat to the page because I feel like the mixed media is enough sort of texture and energy and bits and pieces going on there that I don't need to pop it up on foam. I'm pushing it down right now with a piece of plastic because I'm not 100% sure that it's dry and I don't want to get mixed media all over my hands. I think it's dry, but I'm not 100% sure. And I just repainted the surface of my desk white, so I didn't want to flip it over and rub it flat on the table just yet. I will wait until my desk gets a little bit more dirty before I start doing that again. So I'm just filling in all those little excess bits and then I will pop on over to explain to you the process I went through to actually create this mixed media layout. So either jump ahead 7 minutes or stay tuned to hear the step-by-step process, the supplies I used and exactly what I did to create that crazy pattern in the background. So that is going to come up for you right about now. I just thought I'd jump in and explain to you how I made the background. So the background is the exact insert that came out of the cut file. And I didn't actually record it because I didn't know if it would turn out looking good or bad or who knew. I was just kind of having a bit of a play. So on a piece of plastic, so I didn't dirty up my table, I used this stencil along with this texture paste and basically covered all of the bits. So if you can imagine that the inside pieces were not attached to anything, so I had all those separate and I put them onto a piece of plastic and just covered each little section with all the spots. I then whacked that with my heat gun to get that to dry. And once it had dried, I came on in with my watercolor paints and this little paintbrush here. And what I did was I used the pink and just put pink all over, all in the same direction. It was obviously in this direction on the main. I'm going to talk about the main large piece. I did the exact same process with the little pieces. So all in this direction. And I tried to make some sections a little bit darker and some sections a little bit lighter just by adding more water and less color. Once I'd completely covered the entire thing, so I'm kind of trying to mimic the background as you can see it in the Paige Evans paper. And I've got a small section I didn't have enough of the paper to just fill the cut file, so I'm trying to sort of mimic it myself. And so you can see it's got those sort of peachy tones, a little bit of a mustardy tone, a little bit of blue and purple, and then obviously a much darker pink. So that's what I was sort of trying to mimic in my background. So I completely covered the entire background in a pink, like you see there. Then once I did that, that was using this one, once I did that, I it wasn't completely dry. I went in with this one here, and that's sort of these lighter sections here and over here. And that was to mimic these colors. Then I went on in with this yellow, and you can obviously see that quite clearly in those sections, and that's kind of to mimic this mustard. And then I went on in with the blue here and here to mimic the blue. And then I didn't have enough sort of dark popping through, so I actually went on in with a red and really went on in with a red. Then I hit that and got all that with my heat gun and got all that to dry. And once that had mostly dried, I decided it was still a little bit flat. It still needed a little bit more something to make it pop a little bit. So I went ahead and got a different stencil. Now, the stencil I used this time was really actually dependent on its size. I really wanted a 12 by 12 stencil just to make the coverage of this large circle easier. If I use a 6 by 6 stencil, which is what this one is, I had to do it in pieces, and I know I'll end up smudging and it'll be, you know, not quite perfect. And I do like things to be a little bit more perfect. So I went ahead and popped the largest, a big full 12 by 12 on top. And so of course that's so much easier to work with, because as you can sort of see, it just completely covers the entire circle. And I went on ahead and used this kind of spatula and my Stickles glitter gel. I love this Stickles glitter gel from Ranger. It's super easy to use. And I really just wanted to put that on just to add a little bit of sparkle and shine to what's happening on the page. But again, I still wasn't happy. It still just wasn't popping enough. I still just needed more. So I actually got a little teeny stencil and tried to put little crosses using this dark texture paste. So this dark texture paste is literally just my standard modeling paste mixed with black acrylic paint. I just mixed that together to create this smush. And I tried really hard. Well, when I say I tried really hard, I should have masked off the areas I wasn't using, because I just wanted these crosses. And so I laid it on my page and got my little teeny tiny spatula knife thing and tried to go like this on the page in a few different spots, but I actually just ended up making a mess and it really didn't work. So because of that, I actually just got my spatula and just went and just sort of smudged some black across the page in a few various spots. And I liked that, but I still felt it needed something else. So then I got my Vicky Bouton metallic acrylic paints. And I used the gold, the champagne, I think it's called. And this I was super technical with, not at all. So it was this champagne gold. I literally squeezed it on my finger and went, and you can like, even this one particularly, you can totally see that that's just my finger going scrape. And I just sploshed it on a few spots, just again to add that little bit of highlight. Once I'd finished all that, I still felt it needed something else to kind of add to it, to make it that sort of messy feel, I guess. And I wasn't really sure where to head next. I'd kind of considered doodling with a pen, but I knew I would mess that up and I wouldn't do that justice the way I would like it to. So I thought my next option was really a stamp, to come on in with a stamp. And so I decided to use my Cocoa Vanilla Studios stamp, which is this More Than Words one here. And I used this little three love heart one first, oh not three, sorry, 7 love heart one first. And popped that in a few various spots just with my black Mementos ink. And I thought that looked really good. I liked that little extra something. So then the next stamp I went ahead and used was the solid black love heart. And I popped that in a few spots. Not too many because it's quite in your face. And then I used the larger just outline one as well. Again, just to add just a little bit more. And then I decided I probably better stop because I thought I was getting a little bit carried away, and it was probably time to leave that be because I also knew I had 4 photos that I wanted to put onto this layout, and I was going to end up covering quite a bit of this background anyway. So I am back ready to go through with you the process of embellishing this little layout. Now, as I mentioned about 10 seconds ago, I am going to end up covering quite a big chunk of the beautiful bubbly background, but that's okay. You still see the gorgeous color popping through, and it actually even more so makes you think that the outside border paper is a complete match to the bubbles inside. So I'm actually quite happy with that. So you can see I've got 4 photos to work with. They are 3x4 sized photos, and I've popped those up on some foam. And I'm just going to adhere those down. I did have a little bit of trouble deciding where to put these on top of the balloons because I did kind of still want the feel of them being bubbles, not balloons, sorry, bubbles. I didn't want to completely cover the bubbles entirely. I do end up covering a lot more than I had anticipated, but it's all good. It's all good. I love the brightness and the texture you can see popping through underneath from those bubbles anyway, so I'm quite happy with the way this turned out. I've got to say, I was a little bit on the fence about this Scenic Route collection. It was a bit bright for me. There was quite a lot, obviously, Scenic Route, a lot of travel-related ephemera, and, you know, we're not traveling right now, people. So I thought I was going to find it really difficult to use, but I've actually loved it. And I love how bright it is. I just find it is such a happy collection to work with, and I've really enjoyed playing around with it. Those floral pieces I fussy cut off a pattern paper. They are probably almost my favorite part of this collection. There is page number, let me see, hang on, I've got it right next to me. Page number 2. I love, it is the same basic florals, but it's got a navy blue background instead of a plain white background. And I am dying to get my hands on it to fussy cut as well because I just love them. So I am basically really only adding ephemera using the florals because they're just so gorgeous. And that little fabric heart there that I'm just about to adhere, that is a Charms Creations heart that I like to sneak onto layouts every now and then if I can. That actually came in my Kitaholics kit, and I sometimes find them a little bit tricky to use. So if I find a layout where it's going to fit beautifully, I just pop it on because why not? It adds a gorgeous little pop of texture, and the color was just obviously a perfect color match. So I just had to roll with it. The title for this one I did have a little bit of trouble with. I couldn't think of a specific title. I am going to put journaling on it, so it kind of will explain itself in the journaling. So I actually end up just having a play with the Scenic Route thickers because they're more like phrase thickers, those Scenic Route. They also have almost ephemera pieces in them as well in the puffy. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to have a play with those and see what I can do. I also had the other page thickers that are the puffy stickers, the ones that are all words, get away, today, play, happy. And I was considering playing with those ones as well, but on the actual thicker sheets, the text is in various sizing. And so this one here that I'm looking at now, I quite like that the text is in various sizing because it just adds, again, another sort of aspect to your layout that not all your text is exactly the same size. So I was really taken with that. So I started off by putting that word smile in next to Tom's face because, hello, look at him. And that was just gorgeous. And then I thought I might do some more. Is there another word that's going to work? Things like adventure awaits was on there. And that totally works, but it was also quite large and I didn't have a lot of space left. So fun was an easy one to pop on. And I liked that it was larger in size. That was just a nice little added dimension to the page. And so then I decided I really just need one more up in that top corner. And I wanted to try and fit that word every day in the green. Also because it was green, a little bit of a different color, but it was just too large. So I do just stick with the word love. And they're pretty much my title. So not even really a title, just words that go well. I love the little puffy stickers, so I was going to try and put some hearts on it and I couldn't get those to work, but I figure more spots, more circles are going to look well with the sort of the general shape of the bubble also. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. Super simple, super easy. I think it's all just about that mixed media in the background that meant the embellishing I did could be super basic. Just pop a couple of florals on and I'm done. So I do have some close-up photos for you. So thank you for sticking around and watching this video. It was a little bit of a longer one today, so I appreciate that you stuck it out to the end. Hopefully you just jumped over that mixed media if it wasn't something you were interested in checking out. I hope you have enjoyed watching this process and hearing my explanation, and I will catch you all next time. Bye, everyone.